Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk to you about heroes. Now, when I say heroes, some people think of their parents or some other famous person who they aspire to be like. Some other people might think of firefighters and police officers who risk their lives every day to protect people. And at one point, you'll probably think of the superheroes that make Marvel and Disney a few $billion richer each year. But the types of heroes I will be talking about today are the ones who might not know that they are heroes. The same type of heroes who have impacted my life so much over the last few years. Now, most people would define a hero as someone who has courage and stands for a strict moral philosophy. And in a lot of cases, they would be right. But for me, I define some of the heroes in my life as this. Those who somehow have the power to make some of the enemies we fight on the inside, like loneliness, doubt, and anxiety, cower. Those people who make the battles we fight on the inside easier, and if we're lucky, like I've been, those enemies can fade away, even if it's for just a moment. The idea of heroes dates back to ancient Greece. The heroes in these stories were protectors, defenders, and great warriors. These heroes protected and defended the people around them, although this type of heroism often comes in the form of mighty feats of prowess, sacrifice, or strength. Nowadays, the same general mold of heroes fits, minus the whole fighting wars with the power of Greek gods behind them. Even though the modern idea of what a hero is still tends towards the larger-than-life superheroes in comics and movies. I want to challenge the notion that heroes need to reach these impossible standards, because while I enjoy superhero movies and stories about real-life heroes like Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, or Greta Thunberg who fight for what they believe in and inspire others along the way, as much as the next person, there's something about these stories that make them feel unobtainable. These ideas, stories, and occurrences seem so foreign to us in our day-to-day lives that it can make us feel like we aren't able to achieve the ideal that these heroes, both fictional and real, set. They make us feel like we can't protect or help people in a truly meaningful way. I want to challenge that idea because I know from personal experience that to be a hero, you don't have to put your life at risk every day, have superpowers, or even wear spandex, although that part's up to you. You don't even have to help that many people. All you have to do to become a hero is to help one person at one moment of time. Personally, I have many heroes in my life. Most of them never did one big heroic act. Some of them weren't even in my life for that long. However, I am pretty certain that not a single one of them knew that to me they were being more than just nice or kind. To me, they were being heroes. And I also know that they will never truly know how much they mean to me because I certainly can't put my gratitude into words. These people in my life, from my family, my friends, and people at Appleby, some of them are my heroes. They're heroes to me because they have helped me fight battles that I don't think I could have won alone. Not many people know this about me, but I've had my fair share of issues/battles over the years. I've been through days, weeks, and sometimes months where I struggled to get the motivation or drive to do the things that I enjoy. I went through stretches where despite knowing that I wasn't alone, knowing that people cared for me, I felt isolated and unloved nonetheless. Those days when my life is the darkest, when it felt like the best option was to shut the world out and stop doing anything. On those days, I was glad to have my friends, my family, and my heroes. When I struggle with my issues, I tend to shut out the world. It feels like I want to give up and just isolate myself. And in the moment, I always think and feel that the only way I'm able to get back to my old self, to feel whole again, would be to just start over. A quick little reset. New friends, new school, new everything. But, fun fact, I don't follow through with those ideas. Obviously, I am here right now. And I owe that to my heroes. Now, last year, I knew that I was starting to struggle. I'd been through it many times before, and I knew that if I didn't work to get out of my low point, it would last for a lot longer than I wanted it to. But it's tiring. And more often than not, it feels like an insurmountable task, like filling up an ocean with an eyedropper or starting an assignment the week it's assigned as opposed to the week it's due. But that's when it happened. All the people in my life who I love and who I care for, they helped me. Whether it was my mom bringing me tea while I was up late working on an assignment, or my friends making plans so spontaneously that I had difficulty keeping track of them. All these among countless other small little actions and things that they did. Now, these types of things are fairly mundane and common, but when you are at a low point, things like that, being kind, being a good person, they all help. These small things, small actions that weren't meant to be big and showy to me when I was in that darker place, when I was struggling, they reminded me that I wasn't alone. They reminded me that I wasn't isolated, and they gave me the strength to stand up tall and fight the battles that in my head, that I don't think I would have been able to make out of if it wasn't for their help. All the heroes in my life, I'm thankful for them every day, and I'm definitely more thankful than I think I could ever put into words. Back to the whole me struggling last year. I was finding it difficult to get the motivation to do the things I love, like going to the movies or to hang out with my friends. But the most vivid memory I have, the one instance that shone through and reminded me and helps me get back to my old self, to get my motivation back, and to help me stop shutting out the world, was down by the lake. I was hanging out with my friends, enjoying the weather and the view, and we were just hanging around, having fun, making jokes with one another. And that's all it was. My friends being there with me, knowing that they were with me, and that is what gave me the strength to fight my struggles. But there's one major aspect about having these types of heroes in your life. That aspect's resilience. I want to talk about resilience because it's so much more difficult for the people in your life to be heroes to you if you yourself are not resilient. I know that as a fact because when I go through these low points, I have caved before. I wasn't resilient, and it was difficult to get out of these low points, not because my friends, my family, and my heroes weren't there for me, because they were. Or that they weren't doing the same actions that made them my heroes in the first place, or made them my heroes later on, because they were. It was because I didn't begin to fight my own fight, and without me starting to try and get better, I shut them out, and I was practically ignoring the same actions that helped me later on. It wasn't until I started being resilient and chipping away at my own issues that my heroes could become my heroes once again. For me, it took a long time to find my resilience. It took me getting knocked down a few times before I started to get more and more resilient, but I did it. And I know that sometimes it feels like you can't be resilient and like the pressure of the world might become too much to handle. I know because I've been there. But whenever I feel like that, I remember one thing, that once you start to stand up to the pressure yourself, to your own issues yourself, the heroes in your life will show up to start helping you and help you along the rest of the way. Now, I know that not everyone's low points are like mine, and I know that the same people who I consider heroes, the same people everyone else wouldn't consider their heroes. At least they better not, because I called dibs first. But everyone is unique and has their own struggles, which does mean that everyone needs to find their own heroes. So trust me and don't worry if it takes time, because it took me time too. But we also need to remember that everyone is going to have to try to be a hero. Because in the wise words of Mr. Zukonik, it's all about supply and demand. In terms of trying to be a hero yourself, I have one simple piece of advice. Just be a friend. Ever since I went through my issues and experienced how much of an impact the people in my life had when I was going through all that, I started trying to be there more. I started trying to be there for my friends more than I ever was before. I know that I'm not perfect at it by any stretch of the imagination, but if I try, and everyone here tries, we might be able to help someone. We might not ever know who for sure we help, but take it from someone who has helped once before. It means the world. So if you really want to know what makes someone a hero in my book, it's simple. They help. They help us fight our battles. They give us the guts to stand up to our issues and address them the right way, not by going and letting those same issues get the better of us. Now, I know for a fact that every single person here can be a hero. So that's my challenge to each and every single one of you, to go and try to be a hero. All it is one good deed, a quick conversation, or even just being a friend. But if you can do that in just one moment to just one person, that's all it takes. You might end up being a hero to someone. You might help them fight their toughest battles, or at least give them the motivation and assistance to find someone who's better equipped to help them. You might not know that you've helped that person in that moment. You might not ever know. But in their eyes, you might be the hero who helped them out of some dark times. So on behalf of on behalf of all the people, the types of heroes I've been talking about have helped, thank you. Now please rise and sing hymn number 418, Draw the Circle Wide.